Hey guys, welcome to another segment on the Scorpion Temple. It's your girl Kiki, and I'm doing all right. Okay, so I came across another book. I know we didn't finish the last book that we were talking about, Reflections of Men, but this book I was actually came across while at work, called Forgiving What You Give. And so, Forgiving What You Can't Forget. And this book looked kind of interesting to me, so I'm going to read a little bit about it and see exactly what it's about. Read some if I want to get it or not, just to kind of see what it is all about. But it says how to move on and make peace with painful memories and create a life that in. So the book is Forgiving What You Can't Forget, and it's by Lisa Turkenstadt or something. I'm not sure, but forgive me for my mispronunciation of her last name. But her first name is actually spelled Lysa, but I figured it's Lisa or Lisa or something like that. But that doesn't even sound right. But so I'm gonna read a passage in this book, and let's see where it leads us. What is this book all about? I mean, the title actually kind of caught my eye because it's a woman and she's on this wall, and the wall is black and she's literally painting over it with white. So she's like having a pure and new and start beginning. So I thought that's pretty cool how the author incorporated the title and background of the book. So I usually just read the book and then be like, okay, yeah, it's good. It's not. But before I actually read it and read the whole entire book, it's given me samples of what to read and what it's all about to kind of see if it is a good or, it's an okay book. I wouldn't say there's such things as bad books, but there's okay books, especially if you've been through a lot of trauma and pain and you're trying to really turn your life around and make it better again and get on a positive note and stuff. To have somebody write this, obviously they went through experiences, or they've known some people that have gone through some things that have recovered from it. So that's kind of good to have a book that kind of can relate to certain situations and stuff. So we're going to get right into it. So the introduction says, I still cry over what happens. It says, do you ever find yourself defining life Do you ever find yourself defining life by before and after the deep hurt, the horrific season, the conversation that stunned you, the shocking day of discovery, the stunning call about the accident, the divorce, the suicide, the wrongful death, so unfathomable you still can't believe they are gone, the malpractice, the breakup, the day your friend walked away, the hateful conversation, the remark that seems to now be branded in your soul, the taking of something that should have been yours, the brutality unleashed on the one you love, the email you weren't supposed to see, the manipulation, the violation, the false accusation, the theft, the firing, the day everything changed, that marked moment in time. It's like having your own personal BC and AD, which usually means before Christ and Anno Domini. This dating was intended to indicate a turning point in history, the birth, life, death, and resurrection of Christ. When we have personal marked moments in our own history, it will feel like before Christ and after devastation. It's a line in time, one that's so sharply drawn across your reality. It not only divides your life, it splits open your memory bank and defiles it. Pictures of the past are some of the most priceless treasures until they become painful reminders of what no longer is. Wow. And when your phone randomly sends those memory movies of what happened on this day 4 years ago, it stops you from breathing. Like before, life now. Is it even possible to move on from something like this? Is it even possible to create a life that begins Is it even possible to create a life that's beautiful again? Some part of what you loved about your life exploded in that moment and marked you with this unwanted reference point of before and after. Grief is devastating, no matter how it comes. But when there's a person or people whose choices struck the match in lighting the grief, it's only natural to clench your jaw when you think of what happened. And maybe it seems like you think of what happens all the time, or at least so much of the time you wonder if you'll ever stop having these deep, aching, off-killing feelings. That throbbing heartbreak bubbling with an extra equal mix of anxiety, unanswered questions, and suspicion that really no one is the world. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm butchering this sentence. Unanswered questions and suspicion that really no one in the world is truly safe anymore. People are all around you at work, in the coffee shop, at your kid's school. Oh my God. At your kid's school. It's just... Oh, Lord. Okay. People are all around you at work, in the coffee shop, at your kid's school, and even at church, just trying to live their lives, completely unaware that at any moment there could be a triggered moment so painful you'll feel as though the world has no oxygen to breathe. But you are the only one affected. You're gasping, sweating, and being asked to please get on with it or get out of everyone's way. All you can do is stare at the pictures that just pop up, taken just before everything changed, desperate to go back to the moment and warn your former self to redirect, change, of course, avoid, escape, turn, and maybe this wouldn't have ever happened. Then surely you wouldn't be here in the mess of aftershock and fallout, grief and panic, feeling the fragile as the tiniest twig, but as stuck in this place of as 100-year-old stump. I understand all of that. Like you, I wish I didn't have such an intimate understanding of those feelings, but I do. And if you read my last book, It's Not Supposed to Be This Way, you know of the shattering discovery of my husband's affair. Wow. And the long road of uncertainty I was still walking at the end of that book. The 4 years of hellish breakup that unfollowed the discovery did eventually take an unexpected turn towards reconciliation. I'm grateful, but I have not been spared the slow and grueling work of finding my way again after experiencing something that forever marked my life. I cried again today. It wasn't because something is wrong in my marriage. Restoration is a gift for which I am very thankful, but that's not what this book is about. It's about figuring out what to do when you can't forget what happened. And forgiveness feels like a dirty word. Wow. This book, like, she obviously said that she feels all the feelings that people are going through. It might be like a depression. It might be like suicidal thoughts. It might be just grieving, or you might not even know what you're actually like going through, but you know that you're going through something. So this book basically is about helping people get over that and finding the way to actually cope with whatever happened and move on forward, which is good because a lot of people are going through different things that they can't like work out in their mind, in their heart, in their soul, in their spirit. And to have somebody, actually an author that has been through this and be able to tell her story and show and give examples of everything that's happened, and just also put her foot in somebody else's shoe and be able to comfort them as well, is really got a really good start of the book. So, okay. It says, I'll raise my hand here. That's why I cried today. If you relate to this, then you know how awful it is to define one's life with the words before and after. And no one else in this world has been kind enough to say this. I will. I am so sorry that for all of this that happened to you. Whether this was an event or a collection of hurt that built over time because someone wasn't who they were supposed to be, didn't do what they were supposed to do, or didn't protect you like you should have been protected. Your heartbreak deserves a safe place to be processed. Whoever they are, and I use they quotations, whoever they are in your story, their actions hurt you, took from you, and set off chains of events still greatly affecting you. And that was wrong. This isn't a judgment against them. I don't know all of the facts of what happened, but I am not qualified to be their judge. But I can be a witness for your pain. Your pain is real, and it is mine. I'm sorry. Your pain is real, and so is mine. So if no one has acknowledged this with you, I will. So now she's really taken the time to actually tell you it's okay. Like, we understand what you're going through. We understand what everything is happening. She doesn't even know the full extent. She just knows that you're going through some stuff. And she's here to be that bigger person and say, hey, I got your back. But friend, can I whisper something I'm learning? Staying here, blaming them, and forever defining your life by what they did will only increase the pain. Worse, it will keep projecting out onto others. The more our pain consumes us, the more it will control us. And sadly, it's those who least deserve to be hurt, whom our unresolved pain whom's our unresolved pain will hurt the most. Okay. That person or people, they've caused enough pain for you, for me, and for those around you. There's been enough damage done. They've taken enough. You don't have to hand over what hand over what was precious and priceless to you and deemed all the memories as hurtful. Okay. You get to decide how you'll move forward. A few years ago, when my marriage imploded, I didn't think I had a say-so in keeping memories that were precious to me. I thought my marriage was over. Therefore, my life had to be edited both going forward and backward. I went through the entire house and removed all the pictures of quote unquote us. I packed up some of the most favorite family member. I packed up some of my most favorite family That's like a tongue twister for me. Family memories. I tried to untangle my life from anything that reminded me of what was once. See, I'm just all discombobulated. This is awful. I'm reading to y'all all kinds of bad. I did not like English when I was in school, so that's just But I can read though. I can read. So I tell my daughter, you got to read out loud so you understand what they're saying. Some people can't read in their head because it doesn't stick. But if you read out loud, it does stick a little more. But it says, well, because I didn't know what else to do. But completely sterilizing my life from the physical presence of reminders didn't move the pain. You can't edit reality to try and force healing. Ooh, I like that. You can't edit reality to try and force healing. So what that says to me is reality is here. Life is here. It's there. It's going to go every single day. You know what I'm saying? Life is not going to stop because we want it to. It's going to keep going. So let's say that you, God forbid, you get hit by a truck. Okay. And you survive. You come out, no scratches, just a banged up car, or whatever the case may be. You can't go back and edit that car from being banged up. And then you can't force your healing process because now you're out of a car. You're like, oh my God, I have to sit here and buy another car. I have to put this in the shop. I have to call the insurance people and I have so much stuff to do. Now you're hurt. You're like, oh my God. And I don't have the money to do all of this. So, and by the time the insurance people actually kick in, you just thrown out completely away. Like you're just like, oh, I'm done with this. Just frustrating. So you can't go back and edit that car accident. It happened. You got to deal with it. You got to move forward and change what you need to change to make sure that you have a car, get to work. Insurance people are notified. Hopefully the person that hit you has insurance. Otherwise, that's uninsured motorist. Then that's another problem in itself. So that's what that's basically saying. You can't edit reality to try and force healing. Like you can't edit life to try to make yourself heal faster. You can't. You got to keep going. You got to just make yourself stronger with that accident. And it says you can't fake yourself into being okay with what happened. So you can't fake yourself into being okay with what happened. You'd be like, oh, I got hit by a truck and my car is totaled. I'm okay with that. I'm good. I can walk. Like I can ride the bus. Like I can catch an Uber. Like I can catch a Lyft. Like I can carpool. I can do whatever. Like you're okay with what happened. Oh my God, I just lost the car. So it's okay. I'm good. No, you can't fake yourself into being okay because really you're like, what the hell? Like I can't sit here and start all over. Now I have to literally start all over. Like, so don't fake yourself into being okay with what happened because you're lying to yourself. Like you're not okay with that. It's okay to not be okay. Like keep going. But you decide that the one who hurt you doesn't get to decide what you do with your memories. My memories. You know what I'm saying? Your memories. The person whoever hurt you or whatever you're going through, you can't let them decide what you do with those. You have to decide what you want to do with your memories. Do you want to keep them? Do you want to just put them away for a while until you make yourself stronger and bring them back out? Or do you want to just completely get rid of them? Your life can be a graceful combination of beautiful and painful. You don't have to put either definite labels on what was once. It can be both at the same time. Maybe that's the part of what's hard about moving on, the letting go. So a lot of us, we don't want to let go. We don't want to move on because it means letting go. Like I had this one lady, my husband was getting his car towed, and this lady that lives in our area, she was talking to me, and she kept a hold of her son's phone. He's deceased. He OD'd, and right in front of her. And she kept that phone with her the whole entire time. She still has it. She cannot let it go because that's the only memory that she has of her son. And she's not planning. She doesn't even know how to work it. She was asking me, hey, how do you work this? How do you download the app? How do you do this? How do you do that? I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to work an iPhone. I don't know how to do that. But she did say that she didn't want to let go of that memory because that's the only memory that she has left of her son. Besides the hurt of her son ODing in front of her, she didn't want to have that memory, but she still has that memory, but she put it away. She has this phone that is his phone. It has this picture on it, she showed me, and she kept that phone with her because that's the only piece of her son that she has left. So let's see what else. But what if it's possible to let go of what we must, but still carry with us what is beautiful and meaningful and true to us? So that's what she did. She literally kind of let go and put aside of the fact that her son OD'd, but she kept her son's phone with her. So even though she doesn't know how to work her son's phone to the life of her, that's still the only piece of her son she has left. So that's the happy moment that she has for her son versus the fact that he literally, OD'd in front of her, you know what I'm saying? So she let that memory go, but she kept the positive memory with her, which is the phone. Let's see. And maybe this less severe version of moving on is what will ease us to the place of forgiveness. There's been enough trauma. So because I don't want anything else ripped or stripped away, I need to decide what stays and what goes. So she doesn't want anything to really take more from her. She wants to decide whether it stays or whether it goes. You have clothes, you have pictures, you have videos, you have cars, you have money, you have a will, you have, alimony, you have whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you just decide if it stays or if it goes. Hey, I want this car to stay because it reminds me of my wife. And she passed away 3 years ago. And this was her favorite car. And this is the only car that she's ever wanted. And I'm going to keep it and store it and make sure that it's kept as a collection and nobody drives it and this and that and the third, because that's the memory that I have of her. Versus I don't want her clothes to be here because nobody can wear them. I'm going to give them away to somebody that can be deserving of them, that doesn't have them and stuff like that. So I'm going to let that part go, but I'm going to keep this over here just, to kind of have that memory of my wife while she's, away or whatever. Then the second part says, the more our pain consumes us, the more it will control us. Yeah. That's a true statement. I can really feel that basically what she was saying. The more our pain consumes us, the more it will control us. So let's see. I think that means to me that the more pain that we hold in, we keep to ourselves, we let bother us, the more it will control the way we move, the way our lives go, how happy we are, our daily activities, even being energized. Because to be honest, if you're hurt in a way that is, in your mind, you think it's unforgivable, it is forgiving. You can forgive somebody because you have to forgive somebody for your own benefit. You can't forgive them for them. You got to forgive them for you so you can move on, so you can do what you are doing and what you like to do and move on with your life, so you're not stuck in a big ball of just pain and grieving and just disturbance and miserable, just down and out. If you're down and out stage, you're only going to let it control your life. So of course you're not going to want to, if you like playing tennis, you're not going to want to go play tennis. You're not going to want to be around your friends. You're not going to want to talk to anybody. You're not going to want to do a lot of stuff because it's literally shut you down because of the pain. So once you let that pain go, wherever it's going to go, let it go. You can move on. And it can stop controlling your life. You can actually get back to your tennis. You can actually get back to your basketball. You can actually get back to work. You can actually get back to hanging out with your girlfriends or your guy friends or whatever the case may be, talking to people and stuff like that. Going to work, if you're a therapist or whatever like that. That's where I don't get. If therapists are going through some stuff, how do they cope with that stuff? Do they turn around and talk to themselves? look in the mirror and be like, how do you feel about that? Or do they go to another therapist, a therapist talking to a therapist about their problems? That was my main question. If you're a licensed and registered therapist, you know what I'm saying, and you're dealing with people every day on a daily basis with their problems and trying to help them cope with their issues and help them move on with their life and get back to them. How, when y'all have something going on, how do you move on? Do you sit there and talk to yourself and walk yourself through something that you're already going through, or do you go to another therapist and talk to them? That's like a question for me, because I know that therapists go through some stuff, especially the fact that you have to like keep a straight face when these people are telling you, hey, I'm this and that and the third. I might think I'm suicidal, blah, 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 blah. You know, it might not even be anything bad. It might be something good. And you just have to keep a straight face and be like, well, you know what? I think you should do this, 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 and this. Are y'all following your same rules? Like, are you going through your same techniques that you're teaching these people? Are you using something different? It's like, how many licks will it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? The world will never know. Like, the only people that will know is when you're a therapist. You know exactly which way you go to. Probably can handle it a lot better because that's your profession. But at the same time, I don't even think professional therapists and counselors and this and that and the third can actually deal with some of the stuff that they're going through without going to somebody else and being able to talk and vent and share their views and this and that and the third. Okay, so it says, I'm hungry. This is what I need. It says, this is what I want. It says, I want to look at my wedding album with joy again, even though an affair will be an eventual horrific reality for us. The day was still real and beautiful and completely worth treasuring. I want to remind the vacation we took that we all loved without zeroing in on the fact that it's also when I didn't know what was going on. We were still making incredible memories, full of laughter, sharing inside jokes, crazy competitive games, silly dancing, and long dinner conversations. It was real and it was lovely, and I'm not willing to deny what I authentically experienced. So even though she really, like the author is saying, she really wants to still keep a positive note, even though her husband was having an affair and they got married while he was still having an affair. That's kind of harsh. How can you walk down the aisle with somebody and you're having an affair? You're already doing wrong stuff before you even walk down the aisle. So that doesn't make sense to me. You should have came clean with your fiance before y'all walk down the aisle. That's just point blank, period. You shouldn't have never walked down the aisle knowing that you're having an affair and then go on y'all's honeymoon like nothing happened. And you're having all of these memories and laughing and joking and dancing and just having a good time while she's all blind to the situation. She's like, my husband is my husband. We're having a good time. Yada, yada, yada. This is the best day ever, the best week ever, the best month ever, however long it took. And then he's sitting up there like, hey, I'm having a good time. Going through this and that and the third, but Sandy is over here waiting on me to get off my honeymoon so I can go back and see her. She's wondering what the hell is going on because I haven't hit her up in a week. How do you do that? How do you stomach that? How do you sit there with a straight face and say, or not say anything, knowing that you're doing something on the side? How do you sit there on a straight face and be like, yeah, I'm going to get married to my wife because I love her and I care about her, but I've been sleeping with Sandy for about 2 weeks now. But my wife doesn't know, you know what I'm saying? Like that, how do you do that? Guys have stronger stomachs than girls, I guess. So I don't know. She says, I want to look at that Christmas card we sent with all of us dressed up and smiling and not cringe, feel like a fool or a fake. The family closeness we captured that day was real and so precious and completely true to me. So she knew this was what she wanted. This is what she cherished. This is how she wanted her life to go. And on the flip side, he's like, this is what I love. This is what I cherish. This is how I want my life to go. But it's always that but that gets you. But she says, I want this for you too. However, this translates within the text of your pain, those pictures and those memories, those times of toughness. Those times of togetherness. If they were a joy to you, they are yours to keep. Other memories that are excruciatingly painful are yours to release. And those that are tangled of both are yours to sort out into piles of keep or toss. So now you're dividing your memories into, do I want to keep this or do I want to not? Do I want to keep this or do I want to not? Oh yeah, I love when we got married. I want to keep that. But I don't like the fact that I found out he was having an affair after we got married. I'm tossing that. So that's what she means. It is necessary for you not to let pain rewrite your memories, and it is absolutely necessary not to let pain ruin your future. So either way, you can still move on. Yeah, it's going to take a process. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of healing. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of self-confidence and self-esteem and self-motivation and stuff like that. And if you're praying, pray. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take a lot of that. It's going to take a lot of spiritual healing. It's going to take a lot of mental healing. It's going to take a lot of emotional healing. But it can be possible, you know. But the first thing that you want to do is forgive. Forgive that person for yourself, not for them. Forgive yourself for forgiving them, I guess. But forgive them for yourself. And then that's the first start of a healing process. Of course, you have to forgive, because I saw a quote on Facebook a long time ago, and it said, it takes a strong person to forgive somebody. I'm sorry. It takes a strong person to say, I'm sorry, but it takes an even stronger person to forgive that person. So you could say sorry all day long. Hey, I'm sorry I slept with Sally, you know, this and that, Sandy, or whatever I just said, you know, it was just a thing. I don't have any feelings for her, you know, we were, you know, going through this, that, and the third, and I was lost, and I was this, and I was that. I'm sorry. Okay, I got you. You sorry. I don't know how, because you were doing it. You should have thought about that while you were doing it, because you hurt me while you were doing it. And you said you didn't mean to hurt me, but you still hurt me. And then the forgiveness part. But you know what? I appreciate you for saying sorry. I get where you stand, and I forgive you. When you say that, you're forgiving them for yourself. Because if you don't forgive them, you can't move on. You're going to constantly let that eat away at you. It's going to constantly bug you. It's going to constantly piss you off. It's going to constantly trigger something. And it's going to be like, oh my God, like, why can't I get away from this? So allow that person to say they're sorry. Accept their apology. It is going to be hard, but accept their apology for you. Forgive them for you. Because at the end of the day, they know they messed up. Whatever they did to hurt you, whether it was an affair, an accident, whatever the case may be, they did that to you. So you're the one that has the ball in the court, or in your hands, or however they say it, to make sure that you're taken care of. Because at the end of the day, they did something that they told you that they weren't going to do, which was hurt you. And they ended up hurting you in the worst way possible. So in order for you to become you again, you have to forgive them for yourself. And I'm only speaking facts. I'm only speaking from experience. You have to forgive them for yourself. In order for you to be happy, in order for you to move on, in order for you to be able to live your life, because we only have one life to live. I don't care if they say I'm a cat. Cat have 9 lives, but if you hit a cat and run over that cat, the first time the cat is dead, it's not going to get up and start breathing and walk off. Like it's dead. You only have one life to live. So you have to live it to the fullest. So in order for you to start the healing process for your life, you have to forgive them for you. I keep saying that so y'all can get it. Y'all have to forgive the person for yourself. Okay. I'll read a little bit more because we're catching up on time, but we're going to come back on this. This is a really good topic starter. It's a really good podcast. It's a really good, thing to kind of talk about, to kind of reach all over the world, to, let y'all know my views and just what she's thinking and interpret what she's saying and everything like that. And you guys form your own opinions. So our mind is just at 1,000 miles per minute right now because we're thinking like, okay, what next is she going to talk about? Like, what is going on? Like, she not already shared her story with us and put her business out there, but she put her business out there in a way to where we can relate if we're going through that. And she's talking to you and telling you how she moved out of that state and how she didn't let it control her life. Okay, so it says, and we hadn't even gotten to the chapter yet. That was just the introduction. So now it's chapter 1. It says forgiveness, the double-edged word. So it's a double-edged word, she says. In the early days and months of my marriage devastation, I remember wishing I could be put to sleep like when you have a surgery. Why is it they only call it anesthesiologist when you are surgically cut open? Oh, wow. When you are being ripped open emotionally, it's no less painful. The shock of heartbreak and relationships impacted every level of my life. Nothing was left untouched or undamaged. And I felt like the harsh reality every single day. Each morning I woke up to something else devastating. My kids were struggling. My health was failing. My finances were a mess. I was getting letters from attorneys I never dreamed I'd need. And each night, the only way I could sleep was to lie to myself that tomorrow would be better. So that goes back to her introduction when she's like, never fake what you're going through. Like, never fake how you feel. Never fake yourself. Never make yourself fake like if you're being okay. Because if you're not okay, you're not okay. Like, that's just it. You're not okay, you're not okay. So she's basically saying why she said that, because she said, the only way she could go to sleep is to lie to herself that tomorrow will be better, when she already knew that tomorrow was not going to be better. She already knew that it was going to be another freaking devastating day. Like, something was going to go wrong the next day. She already had it in her mind. So the way she could be able to sleep peacefully at night is to lie to herself and say, Lisa, tomorrow's going to be a good day. You got this. We're going to handle this. Ain't nothing going to go wrong. You're good. But she already knew in her other part of her brain that, I don't know why the hell I'm telling myself this, because I know something else is going to go wrong. I mean, her kids were struggling. Her finances were a mess. Like, she literally let this whole entire ball up pain from her husband having this affair control her life. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. And slowly I turned into someone I didn't recognize. My strong but normal, carefree spirit became a confusing mix of anxiety, panic attacks, and soul-binding pain so intense I thought I'd never feel healthy or regain a sense of normalcy again. So she just really was like, I'm not going to be myself again. Like, this is really getting too much for me. I don't know what else to do. I mean, it's just like hitting me back to back to back to back to back. It won't stop. And she said days turn into months, months turn into years. So she's battling this stuff for years. This wasn't a 2-week thing. I can go 2 weeks without this and I'm good. No. A month without this, I'm good. No. it went years. And because I've been through so much that was so hard to process, a darkness started to cloud my outlook that used to be so optimistic. Relationships were reduced to attempts at managing what I feared about them rather than enjoying what I loved about them. Laughter felt fake. Fun felt careless. Wow, she said laughter felt fake. So she's over here trying to date somebody. And she's like, oh, that was funny. Yeah, no, really, it wasn't. Like, she's irritated at the fact that she's like, this is not me. Like, I don't know who this person is, but this is not funny to me. It used to be funny to me. My old self, my old Lisa was funny, but this shit is not funny to me. Fun felt careless, and people's imperfections were like neon lights screaming that they were just another high risk opportunity for me to get hurt again. Daily issues all seemed like worst case scenarios. Small aggravations like emotional chaos, and losses big and small were like terminal assaults. Damn. A heaviness settled in that I couldn't explain and pinpoint exactly. I'm not sure how to properly describe it, except to say on different days, it crept up like varying personas that seemed to hold me together and rip me apart simultaneously. Woo! Okay. Dressed like a security guard, making me believe that if I hoped for less, it would protect me and prevent me from more pain. In reality, though, it was like a theft. I read that all wrong. In reality, it was like a thief in disguise, out to steal every bit of my closeness between me and those I love. And even worse, authentic intimacy between me and God. Man, bitterness masqueraded like a high court judge, making me believe I must protect the evidence against all those who hurt me so I could state and restate my airtight case and hear guilty proclaimed over them. In reality, though, it was a punishing sentence of isolation, out to starve my soul of life-giving relationships. Resentment cloaked itself in a banner marked with the word vindication. Wow. Making me believe that the only way to get free of my pain was to make sure those who caused it as badly as I did. To make sure that those who caused it hurt as badly as I did. In reality, though, it was a trap in disguise, with dagger teeth digging into me deeper and deeper, keeping me tortured and even worse, unable to move forward. Delay snuck in like a theater attendant, offering popcorn and a comfy chair made of sorrow and sadness, making me believe it was just fine to stay there, playing old movies of what happened over and over. And that by doing so, I'd one day understand why it all happened. In reality, though, it was in a torture chamber, with each replay only oh my God. Only reaching up the pain. I don't know what I just read. So we can't dissect that one because I was lost. She was using so many big words and like comparing the couch to the popcorn and this and that. I'm like, oh my God, like what the hell is going on? Like it was like bam, 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 bam. Like every day was just like something. but never providing the answers I kept thinking would come. And lastly, trust issues disguise themselves as private investigators on a stealth mission, making me believe they would help me catch everyone out to hurt me and prove no one was truly honest. In reality, trust issues were toxic gas that, instead of keeping away the few who shouldn't be trusted, choked the life out of everyone who got close to me. God dang. These were the soldiers of unforgiveness waging war against me. The soldiers of unforgiveness raging war right now against every hurting person. I am a soul who likes the concept of forgiveness until I am the hurting soul who doesn't. So it would seem strange that I am the one to pen the words of this book. But if this were easy to me, if I didn't struggle for forgiveness, I'm not sure if it would be written with the angus of a message like this deserves. Left on my own deep woundness, forgiveness can seem offensive, impossible, and one of the quickest ways to compound the unfairness of being wronged. I cried for fairness. I wanted blessings for those who followed the rules of life and love. I want correction for those who break them. Is that too much to ask? And is that the exact spot where I parked, where I like to park, stew, focus on everyone else's wrongs, and rally those who agree with me to join in and further help me justify staying right there? But that's like the time in college I stayed in the parking lot of a beautiful vacation spot just to make a point. A small offense happened with my friends on a drive up. When we got to our destination, they all piled out of the car, skipped through the entry, and spent hours playing fun games on the beach, jumping in the refreshingly cool waves, eating a picnic lunch, and making incredible memories together. All the while, I walked around the parking lot with vigorant strides in the withering heat, letting my anger intensify with every passing hour. Okay, I'm going to read this last one and then we're going to cut it off and we're going to resume it because it's 275 pages and this is a long book, and obviously she was feeling some type of way and it took her a long time to actually cope with that. So it's going to be like a couple of podcasts. I relish the idea of teaching my friends a lesson by staging this solo protest. But in the end, I was the only one affected by it. I'm the only one who missed out. I'm the only one who stayed hungry. And I'm the only one whose wrong actions were talked about that day. And then I'm the one who rode home in silence, knowing no one had to be punished for my choices but me. The soldiers of unforgiveness whooped and hollered at their victory that day. And I was just another lonely soul crying herself to sleep, feeling embarrassed and defeated. The only memory I made that day was a sore one. That was a silly day with a pretty insignificant offense that kept me all bent out of shape. Please know, I want to acknowledge and absolutely recognize that much of the pain you and I have been through is way more serious and complicated and devastating than that day at the beach. But that parking lot is such a good visual of what holding on to offenses does to us, and where the cruel soldiers of unforgiveness will always lead us to isolation, to emotional darkness of broken relationships, to spiritual darkness with heap of shame, and to the darkened outlook where we are unable to see the beauty that awaits just beyond the parking lot. What if I'd been able to release the offense and move forward that day at the beach? What if I could do it now? The ability to see beautiful things again is what I want for you and for me. Forgiveness is a weapon. Wow. Forgiveness is a weapon. Our choices move forward. Our choices moving forward are the battlefield. Moving on in the journey, being released from that heavy feeling is the reward. Regaining the possibility of trust and closeness is a sweet victory. And walking confidently with the Lord from hurt to healing is the freedom that awaits. Wow, guys. She's like really getting out some different things. Like, she is not playing. Like, she's like, I'm going to let you guys know this and this and this is what I'm feeling. And like that, like it takes a lot to talk about your relationship and what happened in your marriage. And obviously her and her husband are doing fine now, but it took them hell or high waters to get to where they were at. So it didn't happen overnight. It took some time. And of course, one thing she had to do was, of course, forgive him. So we are going to end the podcast right now, guys. Again, this book is called Forgiving What You Can't Forget. And it's by Lisa. God, I don't know how to spell her name. It is Turk. It's Terkeurst. And you can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it on Google Play. You can, I don't know if some other things that you can purchase it on, or you can just get the sample. Basically, I didn't purchase the book. I just got the sample, and it gave me 275 pages of sampling. So you can really read into the book to figure out if you really want to continue reading it or not before you actually buy the book. And you can actually do it digital. You can buy a hard copy or whatever like that. But yeah, so it's this. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of scripture from the book. We're going to continue with this book, and just kind of let me know in the comments and in the messages and anything like that, what you think about the book so far that we've read, and what you think she's going to be talking about next, and how you guys can relate to what she was saying. You guys know me. What I'm going to always say, if you are here and watching this podcast, please subscribe and share and everything. Because, I always want to help somebody whenever they're going through something, or this book can relate to somebody out there that really doesn't know about this book. I didn't even know about this book. I'm just like, and we was reading Reflections of a Man, and now we're reading Forgiving What You Can't Forget. So we're going to be doing a lot of podcasts with a lot of books and just getting us out there, kind of seeing what these authors are talking about and how they can relate to our everyday lives and our everyday feelings and just everything that's going on, and make sure that they can help us. Because I don't want to send you guys a book and tell you guys to read it and it's not worth reading. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why? When I can read it to you and let you start the process and be like, hey, yeah, I really do like that book. I can relate to that book. I'm going to go buy that book, or I'm going to go download that book and stuff like that. So anyways, guys, I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. Good night. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday. It's May and it's about to be June, guys. June is going to be a very hard month for me. But you guys will be with me every step of the way, because I will try to keep you guys informed on what's going on. Try to make it through June and then celebrate July, 4th of July, and my daughter's birthday in July, and then August and September, and let's just keep on going. So I'm praying that God allows us to see June and July and the months to come. So you guys have a blessed and safe night, and I will talk to you later. Peace.